Hello everybody, I'm Andrea. Thank you for joining us. We are doing a 20-minute heart opening class. So this is really great if you have tight shoulders or you walk around with a hunchback or you work on a computer all day. So if you have a block, please grab it. If you don't have a block, totally cool, you don't need one. I'm just going to give options for it. So we're going to start on our backs. If you have a block, take the block and place it horizontally across your mat. So you're going to take it onto the lowest setting. Now the bottom tip of the block, here, I'll come demo it. Or not demo it, but give you guys a little more instruction. So the bottom tip of the block is going to be right at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. From here you'll lay up and over the block. Now you have a couple options. You can bring your hands behind your head, which I like to do, as if I'm sort of like lounging on the beach. You're going to want to move it down quite a bit more. Yeah, so your head should be able to touch the mat. Yep, there you go. From here you can, now if you don't have a block, just bring your hands up over your head, place one hand on the opposite palm, starting to open up the shoulders. Good. You can bring the legs together in Supta Baddha Konasana, so bottoms of the feet together. You can cross the legs, you can bend the knees, you can keep the legs out straight. So there's lots of options here. So from here, just close your eyes and begin to deepen your breath. Now I want you to really feel, even in this pose, your chest start to expand. So I want you to send the breath into the front of the body. Really see if you can focus the breath into the rib cage and into the chest. Now, if you're having a hard time kind of focusing the breath, it can be a little bit difficult when you first start practicing yoga. You can always take one hand and place it on your chest. Now, this sort of gives you an idea of where the breath is going, because you can really feel the chest move up and down with the hand. So that's a great way to just sort of play with the breath here. Now with each exhale, see if you can soften a little bit deeper. So can you open the hips a little more? Can you let the shoulders relax a little deeper toward the mat? From here, bring your hands to the outsides of your legs. Push them up and together. Please roll off of the block onto your right-hand side if you have a block underneath you. If not, you can stay flat on your back and then come to lay on your back. Hug your knees into your chest, let your back stretch. Maybe rock a little to the right and the left, giving yourself a little back massage if that feels good. From here, take it into happy baby, so bringing your feet up to the sky. Grab the outsides or the insides of the feet with the arms on the insides of the legs. Try to keep your sacrum grounded here. So it's really easy to get into this pose and kind of like lift the low back. So can you stay really grounded? Now with each exhale, see if you can let the knees sink a little closer to the outside edges of the shoulders. And again, if you want to rock it right and left here, you can. It looks a little silly, but it feels really good. Good. Hugging your knees into your chest. Rock up and down on your spine until you come to a seat. Make your way to hands and knees, tabletop. Hands directly under shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees directly under hips. Ribs hugging into your spine and tailbone slightly tucking so you're not bowing into your low back. Moving through a few cat-cows. Inhale, open your heart, lift your tailbone, let your belly drop. Exhale, round through your back. Inhale, open your heart. And exhale, round. And one more time, inhale, open your heart. And exhale, round. Inhale back to a neutral spine, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Let your heels sink toward the mat, lift your hips a little bit higher. Spin your triceps down, so you're creating space for the shoulders. So from here, we're gonna move through a few rolling vinyasas, or kind of like cat-cows through down dog and plank. On an inhale, come high onto your toes, shift forward to plank. Exhale, slightly dip the hips, open the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together, take the gaze up. Inhale, lift the hips, tuck the tummy in. Exhale, let the heels sink toward the mat. Inhale, high onto the toes, shift forward, plank pose. Be careful here because our back still isn't warm. Exhale, slightly dip the hips, open up the heart, feel the collarbones spreading across the chest. Exhale, round through the back, scoop the abdominals in. And exhale, sink the heels to the mat. One more time, inhale, high onto the tippy toes, round through the back, shift forward, plank pose. Exhale, dip the hips, open up the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together, feel length across the front body. Inhale, round through the back, shift the hips back. Exhale, sink the heels to the mat. Inhale, bend your knees. Take your gaze up to the front of your mat, step or float your feet to meet your hands. Inhale to a flat spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Bring your hands to your low back, interlace your fingers palm to palm, reach your arms up and over your head. Take your gaze to your belly button. Bend your knees slightly if you have any tension in your low back here. And with each exhale, see if you can sink the arms a little more toward the front of the room. Yeah, good. Without snapping the arms, bring both hands to the mat. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way to the sky. Grip the hands, interlace the fingers, make a yogi gun. Let your shoulders relax down your back, lengthen through the crown of your head. Pull your ribs into your spine. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, dip it to the right. Squeeze the ears a ton here. Yeah, good. Stay grounded through the feet. If I came by and tried to put my hands in between your ears and your arms, there's no way I'd be able to do it. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, dip to the left. Send breath into your right side body. Squeeze your ears, keep lengthening, and take it an inch deeper. Inhale back to center. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, start to open up your heart to the sky. Again, use that breath work that we did at the beginning of class, breathing into the chest area. Can you breathe into your heart space? Can you let that entire area begin to open up? Don't let it go into your low back here, but lift the heart a little bit higher. Take one last deep inhale here. Exhale, forward fold, letting go of the hands, bringing both hands to the mat. Inhale to a flat spine. On an exhale, step back with your left foot, coming to a low lunge. From here, bring your left hand to the outside edge of the mat with your fingertips pointing toward the left wall. Good, you're gonna bring your right arm to the sky. So it's sort of like an easy twist variation. Bring your right hand behind your head, start to open up your heart to the sky. Squeeze your right knee in toward the midline, pull the elbow back, and squeeze that right shoulder blade in. Give yourself a ton of space here. Bring your right arm back to the sky. Bring right hand to meet left. Turn your left fingertips toward the front of the room. Step right foot back, plank pose. Lower onto the knees. Keep the hips high, chest, chin. Squeeze the elbows in. Take your gaze up to the front of the room. Let the back stretch. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Start to slide the body forward. Inhale to a low Cobra pose. Open up your heart. Let your shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step or float your feet to meet your hands. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky, interlace your fingers, make a yogi gun, lengthen through the crown of your head. On an exhale, dip to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, dip to the right. Inhale, back to center. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, open up your heart to the sky. And exhale, forward fold, let the arms go, both hands to the mat. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale, take a big step back with your right foot, low lunge. Take your right foot to the outer, or right hand to the outer edge of the mat. Fingertips pointing toward the right wall. From here, bring your left arm to the sky. Now this gives you a ton of space to come into a tiny little back bend. Bring your left hand behind your head. Squeeze your shoulder blade in and pull your elbow back. Let your heart open a ton here. Grip the mat with your right fingertips. Squeeze your left knee in toward the midline and make your right leg a little bit stronger. Bring left hand to the sky, and then take left hand to meet right. Spin your right fingertips toward the front of the room. Step left foot back, plank pose. Shift forward, let your heart melt. Lower knees, chest, chin. Keep your gaze up to the front of the room. Squeeze the elbows in for 3, 2, 1. Start to slide forward. Inhale, open up the heart. Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Stay high on your back toes. Inhale, arms to the sky, Crescent Pose. Start to open up your arms to cactus arms here. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Take your gaze up to the sky. So see if you can keep your elbows in line with your shoulders. So bring your elbows up just a tad. Yeah, good. Let your fingertips spread wide and feel the area across the chest opening up. Bend into your front knee a little bit deeper. Good. Inhale, arms to the sky, Crescent Pose. Exhale, hands to the heart, open up, Warrior 2, heel to arch alignment. Bend into your front knee a little bit deeper. Flip your right palm up, lengthen forward, reverse your warrior. Take your gaze up to your right fingertips. And this may be enough. Now, if you want to open the shoulders a little bit more, you can bring your left hand behind your back, reach towards your right inner thigh, coming to a half bind. Keep scooping your right hip underneath you and push your right knee open toward your little toe. Good. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel hands to the mat. Step right foot back to meet left, plank pose. Shift forward, let your heart melt. Lower chaturanga. Option to come onto the knees if you need to. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Let your collarbone spread across your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, moving to the other side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Stay high on your back toes. Inhale, Crescent Pose. Good, now this time bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers. Make sure that your pointer finger is right where your neck meets your skull, or right where your spine meets your skull. Start to open up your heart to the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and pull your elbows back. Now don't lose the bend in your front knee. It's easy to lose it, so continue to bend into that front knee. Keep your tailbone tucking so that you're not going into your low back. Lift your heart a little bit more. Send your breath into your chest. Good. Inhale, arms to the sky, Crescent Pose. Exhale, hands to the heart, open up, Warrior 2, heel to arch alignment. So spinning your back heel to the mat. And it's okay to look down at your feet and kind of see what's happening. A lot of times we get into yoga and we don't want to look, but it's totally okay to sort of check out your body and see what's going on. Bend into your front knee a little bit deeper. Scoop your left hip underneath you a ton and then push your left knee open toward your little toe. Good. Flip your left palm up, lengthen forward, reverse your warrior. Take your gaze up to your left fingertips. Now even here you're opening your heart. So see if you can lift the chest a little bit more. Maybe take your right hand behind you, coming into a half bind if you want to get into that shoulder a little bit deeper. Yeah, good. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel hands to the mat, step left foot back, plank pose. Take an inhale here, shift forward, let your heart melt. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Good. From here, begin to straighten your front leg. Walk your hands over to the left and let your toes follow. So coming into a wide-legged forward fold. From here, bring your hands to your low back, interlace your fingers. Reach your arms up and over your head and let your forehead fall toward the mat. With each exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Yeah, good. Without snapping the arms, let the hands go, bringing both hands to the mat. Maybe reach the arms behind you and between the legs if you want to get into the forward fold deeper. Maybe come up into a tripod headstand if that's part of your practice and you want to go upside down. I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of short class, but if you want to, I mean, we've already been practicing, so we're nice and warm. From here, bring your hands to your hips. Bend your knees slightly. Inhale, lengthen all the way up. So from here, we're going to work into like a standing camel posture. So I want you to bring the hands to the backs of your thighs. Yeah, good. And then give your thighs a little grab and be like, hey. That's the most action I've gotten in a while, so I just, feel like everybody else should get it too. Okay, so from here, I want you to pull your shoulders back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and start to let your chest expand. Let your hands start to slide down your thighs. Take your gaze to the sky, yeah. Now keep your heart open and come into a back bend. Maybe take your gaze all the way to where the wall and the ceiling meet behind you. Again, you want to keep this bend in your upper spine, so you don't want to bow into your low back. You want to keep lifting your heart. Yeah, good. Stay with your breath. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On an inhale, lengthen all the way up. Head coming up last. Good. Bring your right toes toward the front of the room. Step left foot up to meet right. Come to stand at the top of your mat. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer. On an inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat spine. Come high onto your tippy toes. On an exhale, sit back onto your heels. Good. Coming into a squat, bring your hands to your heart in prayer. Just finding balance for a moment here. Maybe closing your eyes and seeing if you can maintain the balance when taking away that sense. From here, bringing your hands behind you, just coming to sit. Take your arms straight out. Slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Head coming down last. Good. From here, setting up bridge pose. Bend your knees. Make sure that you can just graze your heels with your fingertip. So your middle finger should just be able to graze your heels. Feet hip distance apart. So when you think hip distance, you don't want to think where the outer edge of your hip is. You want to think of where your femur goes straight into your hip socket. So it's quite a bit more narrow than you would normally think it is. Bring your toes in slightly toward each other. From here, lift your hips, bridge pose. Good. Start to snuggle your shoulders underneath you, interlace your hands palm to palm. Start to open up your heart to the back of the room. So you really want to push your heart back here. Imagine if I came over and put my hands underneath your shoulder blades and just lifted your chest up and back. So that's sort of the feeling that you want here. Holding for 5. Can you deepen the breath? 4. Good. Ground through your feet. 3, 2. Slowly lower vertebrae by vertebrae, tailbone coming down last. Okay, so we'll come into one more back bend, and I'll give you some options just depending on where your practice is at. So if you're kind of spent and you just want to come into a supported bridge, that's a great option. You'll take the block. Do you want to demo it for me? And then you'll place it right underneath your sacrum. So your sacrum is that flat bony part in your low back. It's right where your tailbone meets your spine. So if you follow your spine all the way down, you can feel like an area where it sort of flattens out. That's your sacrum. So placing the block underneath the sacrum on the medium, the low, or the high setting. From here, you'll just hang out. You can come into bridge, which we just did, or you can come into Urdhva Dhanurasana or full wheel posture if that's part of your practice. So make your way to your third back bend. If it's not part of your practice, don't try it. I'm not going to teach it. This is a hard opening class, not a wheel teaching class. So only if it's part of your practice, come into it. So coming into your second back bend, again, deepening your breath. In case you bring your toes in toward each other a little bit. Yeah, perfect, right there. Holding for 5. 4, again, really opening the heart here. So imagine if I came behind you and just pulled your shoulders toward the wall that you're facing. 3, Yeah, really nice. 2. 1, slowly lower vertebrae by vertebrae, tailbone coming down last. Bring your feet mat distance apart, keep your knees bent. If you're in supported bridge, remove the block from underneath your sacrum, slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. So feet hip distance, slowly windshield wiper the legs back and forth, letting go of any tension that may have built up in the low back. Good. Bring your arms out to a T. Let your legs fall all the way to the right. Place your right ankle on top of your left thigh. So feet are still mat distance apart. Yeah, there you go. So you're just kind of pulling yourself into the twist. Okay, see other ankle? Yeah, so come back to center. This can get really, oh no, you guys are fine. Come back to center, Casey, real quick. This pose can get super confusing. Bring your feet mat distance apart. Good, and then let your legs fall to the right. Good, now place your right ankle on top of your left thigh so you're pulling yourself into the twist. Yeah, there you go. It's good we did that because the first time I tried to teach this pose, I think like 17 people were like, where do they go? It's a little weird. This is a nice way to pull yourself into a twist though. It's a nice way to kind of open up your hip and get into a self-assisted twist since you know, there's not a teacher there to pull you into it. This is kind of a nice way to get yourself a little bit deeper. Let your left shoulder relax toward the mat. Breathe into the twist. Bring your right foot back to the mat. Inhale back to center. Good. Windshield wiper the legs a few times. Again, make sure that the feet are mat distance apart here, so you may have to bring them wide again. Let your legs fall all the way to the left. Place your left ankle on top of your right thigh, pulling yourself into the twist. Yeah. Let your right shoulder relax toward the mat. Maybe even closing your eyes here. And with each exhale, see if you can relax a little bit deeper into the pose. See if you can find space in the body to move into. Bring left foot back to the mat, inhale back to center. Hug your knees into your chest, let your back stretch. Maybe rock to the right and the left if that feels good. Hug your knees in tight. Bring your forehead all the way to your knees. Curl your body into a little ball. Take a deep inhale here. Hold the breath in. Squeeze it all in. And exhale, let it go. Vaasana'corpse Pose, letting the feet fall open, palms toward the sky, closing your eyes. Let your body sink into the mat. Let your thoughts move in and out of your mind. Letting go of analyzing and judging, but just allowing the thoughts to come in and go out. May the light within me honor the light within you. Namaste.